What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to OdinReactz. Now we have a special guest today. You've seen her on many of our videos that we've done together with Shadiq and on Alchemist's channel, so please go and check him out as well at Crossover Media, where we've done multiple reactions together. It's Lina. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, it's Lena. You already know, YouTube reactor and also co-host of the podcast VOC Vision of Culture. What's up, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%. And everyone, I'm going to drop her channel in the link in the description below. So please go and subscribe to Lena and help her to get to 10,000 subscribers. Okay? You need to do that because the content's really good. So please, she's been supporting the UK scene as well for a while now. She covers a lot of good music. So yeah, you will not miss it. Okay? You cannot miss it. So the first question, like I said to you before we started recording, what made you start YouTube? Why did you start YouTube?
For me, actually, I'm kind of like everyone else. I started well, 2 years ago.
Mm,
I was in high school and I was one of those people that they said, you'd be great in front of a camera, you're very funny. And I felt at the start of it, I was trying to do what every other like New York YouTuber does, where they do the pranks, they do the story times, they do the challenges. And more as I was doing it, I just felt like my personality didn't feel like it was me.
mm,
And I felt like I was doing things to get views.
yeah,
So I ended up just quitting. And quarantine started. I was home and I had like all this camera equipment that I bought because I wanted to be a YouTuber. Like that was something that always interests me. And a YouTuber that I watched, DG, he actually said it in one of his videos, like it's not hard to start it. You just have to find your niche. And I remember sitting in front of a camera one day and I said, you know what? Let me react to something. It just came to me out of nowhere. Like I saw people that I used to watch reacting to stuff. So I was like, let me just see how this works out. People actually sit and watch people like hear their point of view. So I said, I'm going to try it. I did that. And I started off with like, I believe 3 American songs. And I was like, it's not going anywhere. And I had that feeling of giving up. But then I was like, it's something, maybe I'm just not finding my particular like lane yet.
yeah.
So I kept trying. And next thing you know, I came across Rag Talk TV's channel and I saw them reacting to UK music. And I'm like, these people sound like they're from New York. And I'm like, but they're reacting to UK. And I was like, I never heard the UK before.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, let me try that. And I sat in front of a camera and I literally, that whole entire video, I did not know what I was listening to, but I was taking in the beat and how it was different from what I've been hearing and how the accent and how they use different lingo. And then I was like, I want to learn more. And it just like it put in that light in my head where it was like, you know what, this is it. This is something that I want to explore more just to learn their culture, just to learn the lingo, everything behind it. So that's like how I started out.
I love that as well. And what the UK scene, what I tend to find from the research I've done and what I see is that the UK community to watch YouTube reactors in America love to explain things, you know, with regards to listen to this song and you'll understand this. For example, I don't know if you've found that from your community, but the type of thing that I've seen is that you know the UK community try and help other kind of even me, as a UK reactor, understand certain artists, understand
Mhm.
certain parts of music, and that's what I find is really interesting about the communities, whether it's in America, England, wherever, on YouTube when we do reactions, is the community is so helpful with regards to trying to
Yeah.
help us understand certain parts of music, certain lingos, certain things. Like I react to a lot of African rap as well, and
Mhm.
they talk to me in this language called Swahili, and then they transfer it into English and say this is what this means. Because I always say, I wonder what that said. What that bar was. That sounds like really good and everything. And the because the rapper that I react to, he switches in and out of like African, and then he go to English. So again, it's for me as a reactor, it's really good to kind of like pick up on new music, and that's what communities love is watching you react to music for the first time and like
Yeah.
seeing the facial expressions on your face, like this is
I
a
think
this is a banger, you know?
I think honestly it's that, and like also for me right now, I only react to the UK. I don't even react to things hometown, but it's like I would love to start getting to know other places. Like I remember what was it? Bando Diaries. So when he
Mm,
had like people from Dutch Valley, when he had people from different places on this one song.
yeah.
And I literally learned that drill was everywhere, or not even drill, just like rapping.
Mm,
And I was like, wait, there's people in like Australia, there's
mm,
people in like I forgot what it was. India, that it
mm,
was just so shocking to me. So I was like, I think eventually I want to like start exploring that too.
yeah. Yeah, it's I think the song you're on about is when 1-4 were in there as well with Dutch Valley. 1-4 from
Hmm.
Australia, the drill group, and there were some massive names, and from that song, because I know the one you're on about, there was so many different artists. Noisy, which is I
Hmm.
forget what country he's from, but he's a huge artist, gets millions of views
Albania.
on his Albania. That's the one.
Yeah.
And there's so many different artists that were on that. And again, culture music, like American music, interests me. I love American rap, hip hop, American drill. Pop Smoke. Um, just I dropped a Pop Smoke reaction today, but like I like American music as much as UK music, and so I like to explore different cultures of music. Like you said, you were thinking about delving into different, and it's interesting for me um, how you started YouTube as well. Like you first kind of started it and it wasn't for you, and then you kind of went into a different direction, and I feel that's kind of a lot of people's stories as well. Because when you go to the beginning of their videos, you look, oh, they got 2 million subscribers and they're killing it. But then you go to the beginning of videos and they were making complete different content,
Hmm.
and it's like YouTube finds a way for you type of thing. It's really strange. And so, if there was one person that you could collab with on the YouTube platform, whether it be you get an artist in, you know, and sit and react to their song, or a group of artists and sit in to react with their song, or like a particular YouTuber that you follow, who would it be if you had to pick
So
one?
I'll do one YouTuber, and then you said a group of artists or like one artist?
Yeah, it's up to you. So you could pick like a group, like a band or something like that, or a group of drill artists like who were in a group, or any music, and then yeah, one YouTuber as well.
Okay, so for me, I think like I would honestly there's two groups that I would love to just like sit in and see like how they create songs.
Yeah,
So if I had to pick between those two, it would be I think between 98 and Zone 2.
yeah, yeah,
I think I honestly think I would pick 98 because I just like it's so hard. I want to see Zone 2 too, but it's like I think it would be 98. And if I had to take a YouTuber to come with, like even though I collab with them already, I think Rag Talk would be the
yeah.
ones to do it because the energy is gonna be there already.
I love that. Yeah,
So I think like just them like us all in a room together, I think it would just be like a hilarious video. So I think I want to see that pulled off.
I told this story to, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember. It could have been to Rag Talk actually. I can't remember. No, it was somebody else in an interview, and I was doing a live reaction one day, right? And
Hmm.
they jumped in and they said, "Listen to this song," right? So for the first 30 seconds, the beat was playing, and I was like, "Do you know what? This sounds really good." And then this rapper came on. I don't know what. I can't remember what the song was, but this rapper came on and he was whispering. It was dead weird. Like he was rapping, but he was whispering,
Whispering.
and I was like, I've just froze on the reaction. I was like, what is this? And all I could see was a bunch of like crying face emojis in the in the
There's songs
comments.
like that.
And do you know what he did? Do you know what Rag Talk TV did? They recorded me
Oh my
reacting
god.
to the first 30 seconds of the beat and then tagged me on Instagram on it.
Honestly, like, that is very normal for them to do, like,
I
they'll
love it.
send a video to me,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, "What am I watching?"
yeah,
But they just wanna see your reaction, like, people honestly, the whole reactors, like all the American react, they get a thrill out of seeing you react to dumb, like not let me not say dumb stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like things that would be like, what do you like? What? Like, how did this even come about? And then they just love seeing your like reaction to it.
I
It gives them a thrill.
I love their two energies. It's it when we've done reactions together, and you know they've been on the
Them
floor,
together is like,
they've just fall off the chairs laughing, and yeah, it's just really really funny. So I get what you're saying there. Like you'd like to collab with them. And I think that's really kind of humble as well, saying that, you know, that you'd even though you could have picked someone like Mr. Beast or like a
yeah.
huge massive YouTuber, you've picked them. So I love that and I respect that. You know, um, where would you like to be in the next 3 years with regards to YouTube? So I wouldn't say realistically, but if you could choose, if you had the power to say that's what I'd want to do in 3 years, what would it be? So would you still be reacting to YouTube music? Would you be doing some other content? Would you be like, what would you be doing if you had the power to do so?
Realistically, I would love if my channel was like 50K.
Mm,
I would love.
yeah,
And I would love to start vlogging because I feel like even when I go live, sometimes people are saying like me when I live stream, they see my personality more than they see in my reactions. Like it gives them a verification of that's who I really am.
yeah,
And I think honestly, like I would love if you said like to just be very honest, to just be able to go to the UK and do content over there. Like be able to meet certain artists, be able to
yeah.
even sit in with certain sessions. Like it doesn't even have to really be on YouTube. It would just be like something where I'm interested in learning more with the culture, what their process is when they're in the studio, what motivates you, what gets you into the zone of wanting to make music, like what's your passion. I think that would be really awesome, like just if I'm able to do that in general.
I love that because that's it's kind of like what I want to do as well, is to be able to in the future interview big artists from America and the UK, and probably run a separate channel where I'm doing a podcast channel.
Mhm.
Like for example, True Geordie. He's a huge podcaster from the UK who interviews
Mhm.
some really interesting people. Well, you've got like Joe Rogan, who what he does with his.
Yeah.
Um, that's something I want to run alongside a reaction channel. And with all the people that I've spoken to who do YouTube, it seems to be the same thing with them as well. Like they want to go into separate content as well, and that's where I think the creative side of the people like yourself that have interviewed comes out, because then you get to know, they not just love music, but they want to pursue it as a career as well. It's like I
Mhm.
want to start, getting into the music industry and things like that. So that's really interesting. It's really interesting, because some people I've interviewed, they want to do something completely different. They want to use it as a platform to build their business, for example.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
want to set up a business. Um, so that's really interesting. What do you do to keep motivated? Them days where you say, "Oh, I wish this one hit so many views." Because I don't know if you do that, but I do that sometimes. I say, I feel that this one's gonna, do well. And do you have high expectations of yourself, or how do you stay positive and stay motivated with regards to consistency and uploading videos?
I think for me, when I record a video, I always look at my previous video and I'm like, you know what? How can I bring my energy above? Like, how can I level up from the last video that I did
Mm,
to the point when they're coming to watch this video, they're excited to see something new. So,
yeah,
like, I feel like every time when I post a video, I'm doing something new or I'm introducing something new that's keeping people kind of on their toes to the point, okay, what type of content is Lena gonna introduce into her reaction now, whether it's putting animations, whether it's cracking jokes during the reaction, and then I put in clips of different reactors or different jokes of different memes. So
Yeah,
I feel like me, when it comes to motivating myself to keep going, I just remember where I came from and where I could be,
yeah.
and how I have a very strong support system that tells me that you can do it. So I feel like when you have so many people around you feeling something for yourself, like feeling that you could be somewhere where you don't see yourself, it even motivates you even more because you know what? I'm gonna push that barrier. I'm even gonna push that barrier as a female reactor where certain they don't expect us to go that high. I'm gonna try to go that high because they don't expect me to go that high.
I love how you focused more on yourself rather than I want 10k subs by the end of this.
Mhm.
And for me as a reactor, I'm like, I want this by this date, and that's what keeps me motivated. But that really interests me. How you focused more on how you can change your how you can up your energy levels and change your creativity. That's really interesting. Um, and I feel that's the right way. That's a better way to approach it than I do sometimes.
Like
You know?
I feel like for me it's that before, of course, I wanted to hit 1K. That was like my biggest goal. I said, you know what? I want to hit 1K by by this date. And I did it. But now when I'm doing reactions, I realized when I was trying so hard to hit 1K, it felt less fun to me. It felt like I was doing something to hit that number. Like I felt like I was putting in more work, which I always do, but it just felt unnatural. Whereas me now, I'm just having fun doing it.
Yeah.
If I get, let's say, for example, 2K views on this video, I get 2K views. I just do it because you know what? I'm just having fun. Where my views goes, where my subscribers goes, that's in the hands of people that are interested in watching me and interested in hearing what I have to say. I can't do things just to get that thing. Like I can't do certain things just to get the subscribers to come in. I have to just be myself and it'll come eventually, whether it takes months, whether it takes days, whether it takes years. People are going to eventually mess with me and I can't like make it happen faster than it's supposed to.
I love that. That's a really positive message, I think, to anyone who's watching this, who's doing YouTube. It's definitely a positive message for me. And to really keep the fun in your videos is really important. Like, I do go through
Mhm.
periods personally of, oh, wow, this, I'm really enjoying. Like, I always enjoy the music that I listen to, but I do go through periods of, oh, it feels like what's the word like I'm trudging through mud, so where
Yeah.
it's getting a bit harder. And like you said, for me it's staying consistent and just keep going. It's having that kind of self-belief, and sometimes I have to kind of draw upon that when no one else is kind of saying keep going type of thing. It is really, sometimes it's, for me it's like persevering through that. I think the beauty of it is surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, like you say,
Mhm.
positive people. That's important as well, because on the days where I don't feel like uploading a video, or it's like I've got that high expectation. It's good to have people like that around you to say, do you know what, like, look at what you've achieved so far. Look at
Mhm.
what you've done so far in such a short amount of time. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but I just have to remind myself, look at this great thing that you've achieved so far. And I know that if you continue, and look at other YouTube reactors who have been around for 4, 5, 6 years, look where they're at now.
Mhm.
Most of them have been successful because they've stuck with it. And that has been, when I first started YouTube, that was the answer I got, was consistency is key. you know
Yeah, that's the
i'm
number one thing I'm always hearing.
I'm being true to yourself and true to your audience, which brings me to a next question, really, is, um how do you, when you do content, um is it just purely UK music that you're looking to focus on, or is there something else that's interesting you, or catching your eye, and you're thinking, do you know what, I'm thinking about switching up a little bit, or is it just purely UK music that you're focusing on as of now?
Um, I remember in the beginning, like if people watch my reactions in the beginning, I did want to do New York stuff, like New York drill, but at the same time, the more I do UK, I feel like in a way that's my niche and
Yeah,
that's where I have the most fun and that's where I feel like at the same time I'm learning as I'm going. Whereas hometown, when I'm reacting to stuff here, I know what everything means. I know like majority of the stuff that goes on in these songs. So it's like when I'm reacting to UK, I'm genuinely learning things as I'm hearing these songs, whether it's the experiences they had, whether it's things that I only think go on in New York. No, it happens over there in like South London. It's insane. So I feel like when when it comes to reacting to things hometown, I feel like genuinely I would leave that up to people who don't know, and rather they can learn something from it, and rather they can see how we live here and how life is here, so they can learn, like, so they can gain knowledge on what New York is really like.
yeah, yeah. And that's what it's kind of interesting as well, is that when anyone covers content of music from somewhere where they don't live, it's not just interesting to the person who's reacting to it, but to the communities as well. Comments saying, "I didn't know this," or people will jump on that particular video and say, check this out, check this out, and they give you a whole. I've had it where I've had comments with like whole stories of the artist.
Yeah.
Like they've taken the time out to type up a huge story and proceed to tell me how they started, how many albums they've released, their favorite albums, the best songs, the most viewed songs. Like YouTube's an amazing platform, and um, with regards to music, so many people are out there watching, their artist, their favorite artist, and also people, they're watching reactors, and there's a big market in it. So
Yeah, even artists watch us, like, you know what I'm saying? It's so many artists where certain times I'm like, "You know what? I'm just gonna post a reaction," and, you don't expect artists watch reactions, but you don't expect it.
mm,
So, one day I was sleeping and I woke up to, like, a bunch of text messages from a bunch of reactors saying, "Oh my gosh, this artist posted you," and I was like, "Wait, what?" Like,
mm,
I never tagged them, I didn't promote the song as much as the one I was reacting to, so it was like it wasn't even a song that I rated super high. I rated the song, I think, at 8 or 8.5,
yeah,
and the artist still genuinely liked me because I was being honest during the reaction, and I told them things that they could do better, things that I liked about the video, and things that I didn't like about the video, and they still mess with me.
yeah. That really is kind of a moment. I remember a few times when that's happened, and it's really exciting. Which leads me to the question: if you had to pick one artist, who would it be from the UK?
Um, I think everybody already knows this.
Hmm.
Honestly, from day one, since I started reacting, it would have to be Abracadabra
Yeah.
because like, me and Shadiq is, like, the 2 people that we will never pick anybody else as
Yeah.
number 1 for, like, any I think Abracadabra because he's so versatile, he's very
His old stuff
he
or his new
doesn't
stuff?
yeah, like, he doesn't try hard, and I feel like he's one of those people that can do everything,
Mm.
but, like, he doesn't release it all. He doesn't tell everyone all his cards.
Do you?
He lets you know little by little, so
Mm.
when people are just introduced to him, they're like, "Oh my gosh, he could sing. Oh my gosh, he can rap
Mm.
fast. He can do this flow." So I feel like he gives that shock value every single time he drops a song, and I think that's why, like, it's unrealistic not to pick him.
Do you enjoy his new stuff or his older stuff? Because with his older stuff, that it's more kind of drill, whereas
Mhm.
the kind of he's kind of transitioned, hasn't he, into singing. Into I think like he's like, do you know what? I'm gonna really try and elevate drill for himself.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I find interesting about Abba is that he does sing, he does switch it up on his songs. He is versatile. He hasn't got that one trick pony, and it's okay having a one trick pony. But if you've got multiple things that you can bring to the genre, then why not? And Abra's done that. So would you say that
Yeah.
is would you um would you pick like the new music or the old music that he's done?
Um, Personally, after listening to recent songs of him singing more,
Yeah,
I feel like back he used to sing more. So I think I would rather Ab singing, but I do love him on drill. But I think if I had to pick, I would pick old songs, which is him singing. So yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, again, it's always good to see an artist develop. It's always good to see an artist get more comfortable with
Mhm.
with the music industry, if you like. You know, whether they're independent or signed via a label. It's always good to see them grow and progress. You know, as well as be successful, especially if you mess with the music as well. Um,
Mhm.
which is it's really interesting. Saying that you'd like to come to the UK and do some like vlogs with other um, music, musicians and drill artists and things like that. It's very possible. I mean, look at Walks. Look what Walks is doing, and he's he's doing stuff with like the biggest producers in the UK. He's done some
Yeah.
reactions with like Gully and I think like Trizak as well. Was it Trizak and yeah, Trizak and Gully and a
Yeah.
few other artists. And Lita the VI had Unknown T at his house doing reactions there, which was absolutely insane. So I think you'd die, wouldn't you, if you if you had Abra sitting next to you and you were reacting to his new music? How would you feel?
I would I think honestly, like the first instinct, I would have to shake it out of me because at the end of the day, it's like, for example, when people for Walks is now like one of the known reactors. So I
Mm,
feel like people are like, oh my gosh, that's Walks.
yeah,
And I just have to remember that again, Abracad like he's a regular person.
yeah,
He's a regular person like anybody else. I think I would be excited to get to know him as if like music wise, everything behind like his music more than me being excited as like a fangirl or something like that. I would just be so
mm,
excited that you know what, I get to finally listen to Abs make a song in the studio. It'll be like more like that. Like I get to see how many times he has to do a song over, how many times does he have to do a verse over? Does he change his verses a lot? Does he I think that would be making me more excited.
100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, we are all just human beings, whether we're famous or not, and so I like that kind of approach that you have with regards to thinking about if you ever met him, which is very
Yeah,
possible. It's very possible.
very
Um,
possible.
100%. I know a reactor who he's at, well, he was at the time, he was on 200 subs and he did a reaction with Heady One. He reacted
Mhm.
to one of Heady One's songs in a club. They were sitting in a club and yeah, he was reacting to. I was like, "This is crazy, man!" Like he's sitting there with Heady One, and Heady One's massive. He's a
I think
huge.
it's very cool. Like, I think with the conversations that I had with Walks and Lee, I think what they even do with like having the studio and like having the artists sit there
Mm,
listening to their own songs and like, for example, they had Zone 2 and you see them look at Karma and Trizak like, is this what you're really saying on a song? And you see the artist laughing at people. Like I think that type of setup is so like fun because
yeah,
you're doing it with the artist. So you can like the artist knows, okay, your first time hearing this is your reaction. This is and it makes them laugh and like you get to see the actual reaction live.
yeah, 100%. It's again, it's not been done as far as I know. So again,
Mhm.
it's kind of like that. It's new, it's fresh, it's good to watch. And when I get that notification, it's I'm watching this.
Yeah.
What would you say your biggest achievement is in YouTube so far? So it could literally mean it could be anything, any achievement. What would you say the biggest achievement is?
Biggest achievement? That's hard. Um,
I told you I'd throw a curveball.
Biggest achievement. The I would say how dang, that's hard.
Yeah.
Um, like part of me would say, of course, hitting 1K, like that's a
Mm,
break point.
yeah.
And then also, I think an achievement is how many relationships that I gained from this.
Yes.
How it's crazy people you never met before, but you feel so comfortable going to them and expressing sometimes you have hardships with YouTube and expressing how sometimes you can struggle or if you ever need help and just the relationships with like certain artists where they tune into every video that you watch. I think that is like the biggest achievement. People that you don't know is like one of the strongest supporters for you.
100, I 100% agree with you there because, and we were saying this before, the interview, that the amount of relationships built through YouTube is crazy. And
Crazy.
what a lot of people don't understand from the outside watching us reactors is it takes so much hard work and effort to get to 1,000 subs. It really does, I feel. And whether you're having fun or not, the YouTubers like ourselves have put a lot of hard work into what we do. It's not just about clicking record, for anyone watching. It's, we've got to set up everything. We've got to purchase the equipment. We've got to set it up. We've got to figure out how YouTube works, and it takes time. You've got to figure out tags and thumbnails and when to post and the right times. And, it takes a lot of hard work and effort, and every reactor should be kind of appreciated for that, for what they do, I think. And
And
definitely,
I think also if I had to say another achievement is like it's small, but for me, it was big for me. Like when Wilkson Lee did the award show and
yeah,
to see that I was the only solo female reactor nominated, I think that showed me that I'm doing something right
yes,
and that I need to keep going because to see that was the biggest thing. Because I think one thing people will never understand is how hard it is to be a female reactor and like showing people you can connect with drill, you can connect with certain cultures of music, and that females can understand like the lingo and can understand certain things that guys do with certain situations. Like we can relate to it and we can give a point of view on it that it's generally kind of hard when you gotta like have an audience understand that and they gotta believe you and you're not faking it.
what's your opinion on drill causing violence? So would you say, yeah, what's your opinion on when the government and the police are saying this music should be taken down because it's causing violence?
Um, for me, I coming from New York, coming from the area that I'm from, without drill, because technically New York is full of drill, but like saying that it's not mainstream, it's not something that's super, super popular like the UK,
Yeah,
it still happens. It still happens without the music.
yeah,
You can't stop. The only thing that's not like that wouldn't be happening is they're not promoting what they've done. They're not saying what they've done, but at the same time, whereas people
facts.
like Abs, he took situations that he had to go through as a young child to survive. And sometimes those people who are making drill, it's because when they were younger, they were brought the environment that they were in, they had no choice.
Mm,
Now, am I saying violence is okay? Of course not. But it's like, think of people like Abs, for example, who literally he focuses on music, he does music, he's doing a lot of music. Eyes are on him. It gives them an outlet. It gives them something to express the things that they've went through, whether it's bad or good. It gives them something to it's like a therapy for them.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, if they were regular people, they hold those things inside.
yeah.
They don't tell anyone what happened when they were younger and how when they were young they had to do the things they did. Like they hold those things inside. So it's like music is their way of giving an outlet and giving a way of saying, this is what I've been through, this is who I am, and this is why I am who I am.
And when they're in the studio making music, they aren't on the streets. That is one of the biggest things for me is how can you moan that they're making music? You know,
Mhm.
they are not on the streets. They aren't
Yeah.
doing what they were doing, or they are doing what they were doing less. And now
Yeah.
that they've found something that's positive and can get them somewhere legally, without hurting anyone through just expressing what they've been through in their life experiences. When hip hop first came around, and rap, and the FBI in America used to shut the music down, shut the music shows down because of the things that they spoke in their songs, and the police and the government
Yeah.
didn't like it, but continually they started to push and break through that boundary, and here we are today. People are rapping about everything that they want to, and it's because of that push and the boundary and the change that happened. And the same now is happening with drill in the UK. Skengdo and AM's manager met up with the police as of recently and spoke to
Hmm.
them about drill music, and they released a picture, with the police and everything together. So that's a good kind of sign, because
Yeah.
the managers are talking about, they would have spoke about, look, it's a music, it's a movement, and it's something that we want to try and push forward with, that's positive for these young communities. Look at the plugged in episodes. How many young artists are coming through, 15, 16 years of age,
Yes.
and they've got talent. They've got incredible talent, and they've been through massive traumas in their life, and they've experienced things that a 15 and 16-year-old shouldn't have experienced. So how can
I
drill
think
music
music
be
gives them a way
responsible?
out.
How can drill music be responsible for violence when, like you said, it's already been around? You know, it's an outlet. Like you said, it's therapy
Yeah.
for the artists. Yeah, some of them, they get arrested, they get locked up, but again, it's not for everyone. Not each and every artist is doing that. You
And
know.
I feel like when, for example, it brought me to when I was listening to Quang Phase Plugged In,
Yeah.
and I forgot the certain lyric, but he basically said that that people said if he didn't focus on music, that he would probably be dead by now.
Yeah.
And it's like those things are actually true,
Yeah.
where they're kind of leaving the streets alone and focusing more on music. You don't know. They could have been gone by now. They don't understand that without music, that a lot of these people that are in the position that they are now, it happens. It literally happens here. They could be gone one day because they wasn't allowed that outlet. They wasn't allowed to speak their truth. They wasn't allowed to use that as therapy. So what would you rather have? No music, you don't know what's going on, you don't know nothing about anything, but yet killings are still going on? Or would you rather people little by little they're finding that music is a way for them to get out and they're getting out, but slowly?
Mm. Yeah, it's such I think it's a really kind of deep question, isn't it,
Mhm.
when we talk about drill and violence, and how that kind of affects, because some people here, is the violence that they talk about in some of their songs. They don't hear the pain in the voice, or they
Exactly.
don't hear their life experiences. So I'm 100% with you on that. I really do agree with you. Next question. Who's your favourite female artist from the UK? I'm quite interested in that, because you have started some episodes as of recently, and you covered some of Lady Leisha's music, right? With Esther.
Mhm.
Lady Leisha, as you probably already know, she's been around for years. She's done music for a long time. She's one of the biggest faces in the UK. So if you had to pick one, which female artist would you pick?
What's so funny about that is I didn't realize I was listening to the UK before, like,
Yeah.
anything. When I was 14, I was in middle school and Lady Lee Shore's freestyle was going crazy in my middle school.
Oh, okay.
And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this girl, she raps super fast. She's talking about so many crazy things about taking people's boyfriend, and but she raps fast."
Yeah.
And I remember for me, it was like, who is this person? So honestly, I would say Lady Lee Shore because she's the first person that technically introduced me to the UK.
Mhm.
And I just didn't know yet. But for the longest, I've always been listening to her, but I really never really looked into her. I just always listened to her with her Queen speeches.
Yeah. Yeah. So you pick Lady Leisha then?
Yeah, for UK female rapper, yeah, Lady Lee Shore.
I think I've got to agree with you there as well. I'm just ciphering through the female artists in my head. I do, as of recently, I do like two artists that kind of went head to head, which is Nole and Trillery Banks.
Mhm.
I loved their kind of their clash, and then what they did from that, it kind of really exploded their music. And I think one artist, I think they're both actually signed to a label, different labels, of course, because yeah, it wouldn't make sense signing them to the same label. But yeah, it's music is a business.
Yeah.
When Chipmunk came back, so when Chipmunk's been making music for a long time. When he was making music, he was making grime music, and then what he did is he exploded into the American scene with pop music, and he did a song with Chris Brown, right?
Yeah.
And many people from the UK didn't like that. They didn't like how he switched genres. I didn't have nothing against it personally, and I think it's just because we didn't want, or the audience didn't want to see him change. But he
Mhm.
did. He did change with regards to genres, not him as a person. And then he came back to grime music. But the best thing he did was he sent for so many MCs when he came back, it
Mhm.
exploded the grime scene again. So he sent for Bugsy Malone when Bugsy Malone was on his way up, and I think he had like 10,000 followers at the time. And he sent for other artists like Saskula, who's a legendary grime artist from the UK, and other artists. Devilman came out and like loads. And it was popping. So from kind of the history of rappers sending for rappers, it's a great way to promote their music because straight after the Sends came out, guess what? They started promoting their albums and the EPs and the
Mhm.
mixtapes. And that's what Trillery and Nole did. So it's interesting. It's interesting how that seems to be a UK thing. I don't know if it happens a lot in America, but that seems to be a really big UK thing that they do.
I,
They send for
I
each other.
think I think also like listening to the new upcoming female artists like Cristal, Tizando,
Yeah,
amazing,
yeah,
amazing, cold, and they're both like young,
yeah.
like really young, and I'm just like they're cold, and you don't even hear like even in America like now you don't hear rap like that. You don't hear females coming out doing what Cristal's doing what Tizando's doing. So when I see them drop a song, I'm like, you know what? I gotta support this because they need to be on a higher level.
Mm.
They deserve it. The work they're putting in, the lyricism, it's just insane. And I'm just like, they're awesome.
And drill music is really evolving to the point where there's so much weird play. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
different. And the producers, the beats now are just they've never been better. They've never been better than they are now. The expectations I think are really high because the quality that's coming out of the UK scene right now is just absolutely unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
If there was two artists that you'd like to see collab but haven't collabed yet, who would them two artists be?
Um, I think I think we spoke about this, me and a bunch of reactors. I think I would like to see that's hard because I want to say that one, but I'm trying to think of something new.
You can always give me two
Um,
answers. We're okay with two
okay.
answers.
So one would be Abracadabra and Backroad.
I knew you were going to say that name. I knew you were going to
I
say
love
Abra.
I don't know, recently Backroad is like he's on a different level. The energy
Yeah,
is like in space somewhere. I don't know where
yeah,
it is.
yeah. That would
And
be
if I
sick.
had to say another artist, um
They could even be from opposite gangs as well.
no,
If
yeah, I'm trying to
even if you thought like musically, could be anyone.
um
Or should we say opposite areas?
opposite areas. Yeah, I think for me, if I'm thinking about energy and everything included, I would say V9.
Mm, big up V9.
I would say V9 and maybe somebody from Zone 2, somebody with the because V9's very funny. He could be
Yeah,
very funny.
yeah.
So I feel like if he links up with someone from I I think is it Trizak is like the funny.
Mm,
I would think
yeah,
Trizak.
yeah. That would be a sick collab.
Trizak and V9.
That'd be a sick collab. I first came across V9's music through Morrison's music. Morrison's been releasing rap music for years.
Hmm.
He was only releasing a couple of songs a year, and then he kind of like popped off when drill music came out. It was like he found his craft and stuck with that, you know. And so that's the first time I came across V9 was in his music video, and it was the mask that stood out for me more than anything. It's like,
Yes.
damn, look at that mask! Like, who's this? I got to type it in V9, and that's how I got onto his music. But there's some really interesting collabs. I think worldwide out there as well, not just in the UK, like American artists. We were talking about it before with Dutch Valley, what he did. I think there's so many collabs to make out of there. Like I'd like to see 1-4 collab with Abra and 1-4 collab with other artists. Like 1-4 is one of my favorite international drill groups artists. It's like one of my
Yes.
favorites. Um, I think it'd be really interesting to see that. Definitely.
I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing Abracadabra and Dusty Locane. He's actually from Brooklyn,
Okay.
and he has like I don't want to say this because we're trying to stir away from people saying he sounds like Pop Smoke, but he has that voice.
Nice. I
So
gotta
I
check him
really
out.
want to see what they're gonna pull off with that. Him and Abs.
I gotta check him out. I've never heard of him before. So
Abs is already like in the works with making a collab with him. So I'm actually very interested in hearing that. Doing like I think it would bridge America and because Dusty is like the new upcoming, he's
hmm.
like the new, he's rising really fast. So I think for Abs to do a collab with him would like literally bridge America and the UK together automatically. And people will start like tuning into the UK more.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's always good to get other audiences in to
Hmm.
their music, not just like what we do YouTube, but I think it's a very good thing to market an artist. I think that's what a lot of labels focus on as well. Is that yes, this person's got a big following in the UK, but how can we expand on that?
Yeah.
Skepta did it really well. He dominated the UK, and then at the right time went over into America. Dave did the same thing. He dominated the UK, went over to America. Gigs went into the UK, went over to. So it's interesting to see now that these artists like Abra that have made a good name for himself in the UK, what they're gonna do next. And I think it can
Hmm.
not make or break an artist. I don't like saying break because trying something new isn't going to break an artist. I think it's either going to keep an artist the same or they go back to their own craft and what they did before, or it's going to make that artist evolve and we're going to see something that we've never seen before that's better, you know?
I think for Abs in America, he's definitely going to shine. Do
Mm,
just based off like because people kind of knew of him when Pop was alive. So it's not like Abs is like this new artist with a pop sound
yeah,
that's trying to come over to America. I feel like people are gonna be like, this is like Pop's version in the UK, but like on a whole different other level. He could sing, he could do this, he could do that. So I feel like people are gonna be really interested when he decides to like do something crazy, like come over to America, maybe do a couple songs here, do like a little performance and introduce himself kind of in a way.
yeah.
I feel like it's just gonna go crazy. That's gonna be mainstream.
100%. And there's a lot of American artists that have done that. Look at what Juice WRLD did before he passed away. He did a freestyle on the biggest platform at the time in the UK,
Hmm.
which was, Fire in the Booth, Charlie Sloth.
Yes,
And a lot of artists do that. Pop Smoke, he did it. You know,
he did it.
it's very very clever how musicians promote themselves. You know, um, I think it's been a really interesting interview, Lena. I think
Yeah,
we've covered a lot of
a lot.
things. We covered drill, we've covered culture, we've covered different music, the
Hmm.
future of your YouTube channel, which I've just believe that you're going to do really well with the way that
Thank
you
you.
look at success, how you look more at yourself rather than the external, how many views you not you don't seem to be focused on that. You seem to be focused more internally, which is a good thing. It's a really good thing. It's inspired me to refocus. Refocus. Right, okay. Maybe I need to change this, or focus on this. Focus more on myself rather than what's actually, you know, the views and things like that. That'll come in time. Is there anything that you want to add before we wrap up the interview? Is there anything you want to say? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to say at all at the end?
I want to say thank you for having me. Shout out to Rag Talk TV
Yes.
for, like, of course, being my support system. Shout out to Jug Season. Shout out to David
Big
B.
up.
Wallen. Shout out to Rel. Shout out to Esther and David. Shout out to
Big up.
Shadiq. Shout out to Chino. Shout out to everyone. If I miss Romaine, Walks, and Lee, thank you for giving me the time you do sometimes. Like, I want to thank everybody. Thanks, Odin. Odin's been supporting me too. Like, again, support system is it's a key component to you being motivated and keep going, because you have people around you that's motivated and want to go. So thank you.
100%. And it's like I said, you know, a few months ago when I first started doing interviews, I wanted to get you on here, and it's always better, I think, to do YouTube and to bring other people up rather than, you know, it being a competition. It's always better
Exactly.
to
Support each other.
inspire each other, and you're always going to do better that way, you know. So guys, before I go, you must promise me right now, if you're watching this, you need to subscribe to Linaaa. You need to go and watch her most recent videos and watch the videos that come out, and hit that notifications bell, because that notifications bell, you won't miss any more videos. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.